Look, right now the markets are driven by three things. One, you're getting very, very robust economic growth across almost every country in the world. You're seeing very strong earnings growth, and companies remain quite optimistic that that growth will persist through 2018. At the same time, you haven't really seen much of the inflation drivers, and as a result, there is an assumption that the liquidity in the market will remain quite strong, interest rates will remain low, which creates almost a perfect scenario for investors.
You're not worried at all about inflation? You look at input prices, raw material prices, you've got the 18 states raising wages. Don't you see enough cost push and demand pull to actually maybe talk about inflation, worry about it a little bit?
Absolutely, and I actually think that market will start worrying about it probably toward the middle of this year, maybe a little bit later, for a couple of reasons. One, as you pointed out, we're now starting to see some very clear signs of wage pressures, not just in the United States, but globally. And as a result of those wage pressures, you could start to see either a pass-through inflation, or it could even be the case that you could start to see margin pressures if the companies cannot pass through those cost increases. And finally, by the second half of this year, you're starting to see difficult compares. So the very optimistic earnings estimates that companies are starting to provide will start to face some very difficult comps relative to the second half of last year. So for those reasons, second half could start to look a bit challenging.